Hello, Scotties. All right. So today we are going to do lesson 4.3, which is dividing mixed numbers. So dividing mixed numbers is really no more difficult than multiplying fractions of mixed numbers or dividing fractions. We just, again, have a little bit of an extra step. So the title of your notes today should be lesson 4.3, dividing mixed numbers. And our objective is how do you divide mixed numbers? So at the end of today's lesson, we should be able to answer that question. How do we divide mixed numbers? Well, we do this, this, and this. So at the end of the lesson, if we can answer this question, we have finished our objective. So first we are going to talk about, our foldable. So our foldable, we have just one more section left, which is dividing mixed numbers. We should have already filled out how to multiply fractions, multiply mixed numbers, and divide fractions. So now we are going to work on dividing mixed numbers. So honestly, dividing mixed numbers, just add a little extra step. First off, we do not get common denominators. This does not change. Remember, with multiplying and dividing, our denominators just stay the same. However, we do need to change improper fractions into mixed numbers into improper fractions. This is the same with multiplying mixed numbers. We can't do it when we have whole numbers involved, so we have to change them. Remember, we do this by doing a cartwheel. So we do 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2 is 14. That becomes my numerator and my denominator stays the same. I am going to keep this division for right now. I'm not going to do anything quite yet because I need to make sure I take a couple of steps and make sure that these are improper fractions first. So 9 times 2 is 18, plus 4 is 22 over 9. So now I have a dividing fraction problem. Now is that step where I am going to copy, dot, flip, and then multiply. So copy down the first one, change my division to multiplication, and flip my second fraction. So notice that I've had to do this in 2 steps, okay? It's really important that we rewrite our work so that way we don't get confused, especially here if we're trying to change it into an improper fraction and flip it at the same time. It gets confusing and you will make mistakes. So now this multiply, remember our first step is always to cross simplify if possible. So we double check and see, can we cross simplify? 3 and 9, yep, I can divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 14 and 22, our GCF there would be 2. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 22 divided by 2 is 11. Then we follow the steps for multiplication. So I multiply straight across the top. 7 times 3 is 21. 1 times 11 is 11. And then we always simplify if possible. So remember, this is where I'm doing my back flip. Oops, I don't know what I did there. Simplify if possible. So this is where I'm doing my back flip. So I say 21 and 11. 11 goes into 21 one time. We subtract and get 10. So my answer would be 1. My remainder is 10 over 11. So my answer is 1 and 10/11ths. So with dividing mixed numbers, it's not much different, okay? We have to get them to be improper fractions first, then we copy dot flip, and then we just multiply like normal. So we should be pretty easy squeeze when it comes to this. We're still using reciprocals. Okay, so dividing a fraction is equivalent to multiplying by its reciprocal. This is something that we have learned. Okay, we can't actually divide fractions, so we have to multiply by reciprocals. Okay, so first we rewrite the mixed numbers as a fraction greater than 1, which is an improper fraction, and then we multiply the dividend by the reciprocal. So when we have a story problem, again, it's really important to realize what is being divided up. So one serving of Harold's favorite cereal contains 1.25 ounces, or 1 2/5 ounces. How many servings are in a 17.5 ounce box? So what I'm actually dividing up here is I'm taking the box and dividing it into servings. So we're going to find out how many groups of 1 2/5 are in 17 and a half. So I actually have to make sure that 17 and a half comes first, and I'm dividing it by 1 2/5. So then that second step is to rewrite them as improper fractions. So 2 times 17 is 34, plus 1 is 35/2. And I'm still dividing because all I'm doing is changing these into improper fractions. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So 7/5. Now I'm going to rewrite the problem as a multiplication using the reciprocal of the divisor. So what I'm doing now is I'm copy dot flipping. So I'm going to multiply by my reciprocal. So copy dot flip. So notice that we write it down first. We write it as improper fraction second, and then we copy dot flip. We need to rewrite this problem 3 times in order to truly be successful and not make silly mistakes. It seems like a lot of work, but it's not when you find out that you're just gonna have to keep redoing the problem because you're making so many silly mistakes. So now we cross simplify. 2 and 5 can't be cross simplified, but 7 divided by 7 is 1, 35 divided by 7 is 5. So now I can multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 goes into 25 12 times. 12 times 2 is 24, so I have 1 left over. So there are 12 and a half servings of his favorite cereal. So when we are finding area, this is something else that we can do. Area is always length times width. So we say that the formula for area is length times width. Area equals length times width. So when we're finding, if we're given the area and we're asked for a length or a width, what we can do is we can do area divided by length equals our width, or vice versa. Area divided by width equals our length. So we can use these formulas when it comes to a story problem about area. So it's telling me that the area of a rectangular sandbox is 56 2/3 square feet. The length is 8.5 feet. What's the width? So I can use this formula here. Area divided by my length is equal to my width to find this. So I find out the area is 56 2/3 square feet divided by the length, which is 8.5, and the answer will give me width. So again, I rewrite them as mixed numbers. So 56 times 3, 50 times 3 is 150. 6 times 3 is 18. So 168 plus 2 is 170/3. Divided by 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17/2. And then I copy dot flip. 170/3 multiplied by my reciprocal. This can't be cross simplified, but this can. 17 divided by 1 is 7. So 170 divided by 17 is 10. So then I go 10 times 2 is 20. 3 times 1 is 3. Turn this into a mixed number. So 3 goes into 26 whole times. 6 times 3 is 18. So I get 2 left over. So my width would be 6 2/3 feet. These are something that I would make sure we have written down in our notes here, the formulas for area. Okay. Go ahead and pause this and try this one on your own. Okay, so Sheila has 10.5 pounds of potato salad. She wants to divide the potato salad into containers, each of which holds 1 1/4 pounds. How many containers does she need? Explain. So the first thing that we have to make sure that we're doing is making sure that our problem is written down correctly. So I'm going to ask myself, what is Sheila actually dividing up? So she's got something and she has to divvy it out into containers. What she has is 10.5 pounds of potato salad. So that one has to be listed first. So 10.5 pounds is being divided up into 1 1/4 pound chunks, right? And we want to figure out how many of those 1 1/4 pound chunks does she actually have. So the first thing I do is turn them into improper fractions. 20 plus 1 is 21/2. I keep it dividing. 4 plus 1 is 5/4. So now that they're both improper fractions, I can copy dot flip. 21 over 2 times, multiply by my reciprocal. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I get 42 over 5. 5 goes into 48 times with 2 left over. So what this gives me is 8 2/5 containers. So I want you to pause this and think about your video, or think about this question. How many containers would I need, would Sheila need for her potato salad? Now, if you said she needs 8 containers, that's actually not right because she has 8 full containers and then 2/5 of a 9th container. So she actually needs 9 containers for her potato salad. Wow, I'm so in my way right now. There we go. Okay, so another one I like to do here is this problem. No, it's this problem I like. Okay, so in this problem, we're looking here. 1 serving of tortilla soup is 1 2/3 cups. A restaurant cooks makes 50 cups of soup. Is there enough to serve 35 people? Explain. So what we're going to do is divide 50 by 1 2/3 to find the number of available servings. Okay, we know this because he has 50 cups of soup and he needs to divide them into a bowl with 1 2/3 cup in each bowl. So we want to know, will he have enough for 35 cups of soup or 35 people? So he's got 50 and he's dividing it by 1 2/3. So go ahead and pause that and try it and see, does he have enough for 35 people? All right, so I have to rewrite 50 over 1, improper fraction, divided by 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, 5/3. Now I can copy dot flip. Copy dot multiply by the reciprocal, flip. 5 divided by 5 is 1, 50 divided by 5 is 10. So I multiply straight across the top, 30 over 1. So does he have enough for 35 people? No, he only has enough for 30 people. Okay, so this is one of those where we have to make sure that we're understanding what's being divided up, because had we written it the way we saw it in the problem, it would have been backwards. So your homework assignment is, we're going to look right here, page 94 through 95, numbers 3 through 9 odd, 11 and 12. So 3 through 9 odd, 11 and 12. So this is a little different. It is 3 through 9 odd, 11 and 12. So go ahead and get these problems started. Good luck. Please ask for help if you need it.